Guys, we have Vanessa here from Real Moms of Bravo. She is fresh off her LA Times article. What was
That's one
that?
way to put it.
What was it like to get a call? Like I imagine you getting a phone call and it was like, "Hello, this is the LA Times. We are writing an article on the cultural impact of Bravo accounts in America." What was it like? What was the process?
It was honestly, I don't think the gravity of it hit me until seeing the article. I wish it was like that. I mean, a dramatization of it sounds a lot more,
Right?
sounds much cooler than how it went down. No, she slid into Yvonne, slid into our DMs. We interviewed her with her 3 different times. And I
Ooh.
think at the time, just like interviewing her and like talking with her, I don't think I realized like it didn't really like fully click in my head because I just assumed we could have been cut out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if there's instances where you get interviewed and you don't make the cut. So seeing it all together was really, really cool and kind of an out of body experience.
What like how far we've come, like I remember no one watched Bravo when I was like growing up, if you will. Like I would everyone would preface it with like I don't watch those shows, but how far we've come that the LA Times was like, "Nope, we're going to talk about Bravo accounts." So what did they tell you what the topic was? Were they like this is an article about like what did they say the subject was?
She basically was like, I'm taking a look at housewives and the impact they have on people and their lives and just kind of
Oh.
kind of worded it around that, if you will.
Okay,
But
okay,
then she kind of
okay.
framed it like, obviously wanted to know background about our account, how we got into it. When it came to like news, like especially Jen Shaw, because that was kind of happening in the middle of all this, the sentencing, like, what did you do that day? Like, what'd your day look like? So I think she took like kind of those snippets of information to piece together the story.
As much as I do already know like about you guys because I follow your content, it was wild to see that you guys have full-blown jobs, careers, and moms, and you do this because I know how much work goes into making content and do this. Like, how the fuck do you guys do everything? You guys keep up
I
with all of it.
don't know. I think having two of us definitely helps. So yeah, Abby and I have full-time jobs. This isn't our job, like full-time job. It's like our another job. It's our
Yeah,
beloved side hustle.
yeah,
I will admit my husband gives me shit all the time because I'm constantly glued to my phone. And
yeah.
I think like it's kind of addicting, obviously, the instant gratification of either a like or someone sharing something, or in this week in Bravo news, so much shit happens that I have intense FOMO and I don't want to be the last to know. I want to be the first to know. So I'm on my phone, but I try to balance it. I do spend time with my children.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But I think for the both of us, I'll speak for Abby and I both. I think this has been a great way to connect with each other. Also just a creative outlet
Yeah,
outside of ourselves and something that you can kind of control in a way.
totally.
Because so much of parenthood and life you can't. And so this has been a really fun outlet and being able to connect and get to know people like you, Emily. Like it's
Huh.
fun what the universe can bring you.
I do agree with that for sure. This is open, like the world has opened me up because I have social anxiety and I don't really meet people easily, but when you can put me behind like a microphone and like an excuse like this, I'm like I could totally reach out to people and
Yeah.
like
I mean,
and
I
and
feel like
socialize this way.
no, I think internet friends make the best friends,
Totally,
honestly.
totally
It's like, I
agree.
mean, some of the people I've made so many friends off
Yeah.
of this. And I mean, I spent a weekend, I'm good friends with Anthony Lario.
Mhm.
And I spent a weekend with him. The first time I met him, I spent a weekend with him and his family in the Jersey Shore, which sounds insane,
Wow.
but like we, bonded and talked on the phone a lot. It just feels like a very old school way of friendship
Yep.
versus nowadays.
Yep.
So anyways,
For anyone who doesn't know who Anthony Lario is, he is pretty tight with like all the Jersey housewives. But hold on, wait, I need to ask a question. Is the Jersey Shore as magical as I imagine it? Because I just like imagine the Jersey Shore as like, I want to go there so badly and stay at one of their shore houses.
so I will tell you, I was not there in the summer. So
Okay.
I was
Okay.
there in October. So I don't feel like I got the full experience because it wasn't necessarily like beach time.
Yep, yep,
I
yep.
will, and so I was kind of intrigued by the area. It wasn't the part where we were was very a community, but it wasn't like I was in the thick of like restaurants and there's a Ferris wheel, like what I
Yeah.
picture the Jersey Shore to be. So I wasn't near that area. I don't feel like I got the full experience. So I need to go back in the summer.
Oh, this just gave me like a funny show idea. Like all like a bunch of Bravo content creators rent a shore house and go to the
Oh my
Jersey
God.
Shore when
Could you imagine?
they're like filming like Real Housewives of Jersey and like try
That
to
would be
like
hilarious.
drive a boat by like one of their houses so that we're like
That
in
would
the
be so
background
funny.
shot. Here at She Speaks Bravo, we believe that Bravo TV is a great form of self-care and therapy. Look at me. I've been using it for over a decade, and I am a complete mess. That's me, by the way. I'm Emily, and I'm your host on this journey.
What is this, honey?
I love that.
If you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and hit that notification bell because I'm releasing new episodes at least 3 times a week.
You fool.
That's my opinion!
I talk Bravo, I talk true crime, and sometimes I talk a little scripted. So whatever you're here for, I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, down to business. Okay, we're going to talk about Miami today. So what I do with all my guests is I go through the cast and get like I'll say a name and you just like give me your like thoughts on them, just so I can get like a state of the union on them. Adriana.
Messy.
Okay. Nicole.
Calculating.
Oh, I love that answer. Guerdy.
Green.
Alexia.
Queen.
Marisol.
Cockies.
Lisa.
Vulnerable.
You do not have to just give one word answers, but I really respect that you are because like everyone else gives
I'm committed to it.
But you don't stop. Julia.
Quirky.
Kiki.
Kiki, I'll give more than one. Not enough screen time.
Not enough screen time. Just and
Funny.
the star of every single scene. Larsa.
Interesting.
Okay, that's a good answer. All right, let's get into the actual episode. So I like how they're doing this thing where they give us like a little bit of the drama that's going to happen and then they like take us back to the top of it. But we do see that Julia and Adriana go to that botanical shop to buy the crystals and the things for everyone. What was your take on that? Did it have a tone? Did it have an energy to it? Or was it truly, in your opinion, all like sincerely because they wanted to give them good energy?
I mean, I think Julia, to be malicious, I think would be by accident, not intent. Like, I don't see Julia's thought process thinking that way. I feel like Julia, if she was going to do something scary and like really wish ill intent, she would be like, send you like a pig's heart in a box, like go
she's
dark
Russian.
that way. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she would go that route, like a darker path. So I think it was fine, but I get it. I know with Latinas and the brujeria and all that stuff, like I understand where Alexia was coming from. However, I felt it was a bit of a reach, and I did think it was like positive intent.
Yeah. I think it was like it felt to me like it was Adriana's way of saying, I'm trying to get close to you guys. I'm trying to like bring you guys closer to me, but I am obsessed with Alexia viewing it that way because she would.
Yeah.
Like,
and then seeing like Marisol and be like, oh my God, Marisol thinks someone's doing witchcraft on her.
Of course
like,
she is.
Oh yeah. And then of course it's like, oh, is it Julia? And Julia's face is like, what the fuck? You think I have like a voodoo doll? I'm just like,
and Julia's calling it a botanical shop, which really gives it the sound of like going to like a nursery where you could get like succulents as well. But then Alexia's calling it like a witchcraft store.
Yes.
So
she's
very
like, you're
different
buying
energies.
crystals. And I don't know what were in those satchels, but what she was spreading around. But Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I see both sides, but I don't think Julia meant anything from it.
Yeah, I don't either. Um anyway, so now everyone's packing. Could Frankie be any more? What's the word? He's an angel. He really is, like, everything. I mean, maybe we just don't see that cuz a lot of the time when they have developmental issues, they can throw fits, so maybe they just edit all of those things out just to show us the pure sides of him. But she's packing and she's talking about, maybe you can go stay with your dad, and he's like, "My heart is my poppy." What? Like,
Mhm.
why do you keep giving us these quotes that just make you so lovable? And I forgot that his dad's been away. I
Yeah.
forgot at school. That's a
I
new one.
forgot that too. That's a new one at school, not away at camp. I
Not
forgot
away.
that as well.
And then because she was like, he's gone for 5 years on a conspiracy charge, and then she's like, I don't know, another 5 years for drugs or something. Like, she didn't even know exactly what the charge was. And the flash of that lunch where he says to Peter, "Oh, you're getting big," and Frankie's like, "Me too, chubby, getting chubby." And then he's like, "I'll play you one-on-one basketball. I'll whoop you, my love."
He's such a sweet, sweet soul. I want to see him like on Watch What Happens Live with his mom. Like, I just think that would be so fun and so sweet. I think, I mean, I love in Housewives when we get to see the vulnerable motherly aspects of a housewife. And I think Frankie's relationship with Alexia softens her for the viewer. But
Absolutely.
I mean, he needs to be protected at all costs. He's just has such an angelic point of view on life, like you said. And even him, when they've talked about him eventually like living on his own, that episode, and how he was like, no, but he's just so sweet.
Pureness. Like, oh God, it's so sweet. I'm obsessed with Guerdy thinking that flamingos quack.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't wait. I'm gonna go like quack, quack, quack. They're like, do they quack? She's like, I don't know what they do.
No, I mean,
They
that
don't.
whole that yoga was fascinating to me, like the Golden Girls versus the girls who were staying there. Like, which side would you be on? Would you be part of the Golden Girls and not participate in the slide and like do the massages, or would you be part of the more active crew?
I think I would do the slide, but then the massages the next day.
I was thinking the same thing. I would definitely do that too, because I think after drinking, the last thing I
Yeah.
want to do. Have you ever been to a bachelorette party where they try to do that with yoga
Uh,
and like?
why do people plan like something like that after you're gonna do the drinking?
Exactly. Exactly. I'm just like, I don't want to start my day in like child's pose or any of this shit. I want to start my day. I want to get a cocky, as Marisol says, and like have some brunch, but I don't get that. I'm the same with as you. I'd want to do the slide and I want to do the massages.
How do they how are housewives built like this? They all drink and they can get up, rally, and do the activities the next day. I'm done. Like, that is not me at
I
all.
don't honestly understand it. I think that's you bring up a very good point because very rarely, I think Luann is someone we've seen hungover. But we don't always see people hungover. I think about this
Mm-mm.
with Summer House, not to like derail, but I think about that with that crew and like Winter House and the youngins. We don't hardly see the hungover aspects. I'm wondering if their call times are just so much more later in the day that they have to like power through. I have no idea.
No idea. Marisol has COVID. She's like, I know I don't have COVID. I don't leave the house. I'm like a recluse. I feel the same way. Like, when I ended up getting COVID, but I was like not asymptomatic. But I was confused because I'm like, I couldn't remember for the life of me when I left my house the week, like that week. I was like, did I even go to this grocery store?
Oh my gosh.
But I think,
That's a crazy thing about COVID and the times that we're in. It's just like,
right?
it feels like, there's scenarios like that where you literally don't leave and you get it. And it's just kind of like, well,
I'm
fuck
like,
it.
who did
Might
I
as well
come
live my
into
life.
contact with exactly?
Yeah.
I love Adriana traveling in a mask and the gloves. Like, no one else was that equipped, but she's like, I'm not messing around.
No, not at all.
What's your take on the Larsa braids?
I mean, it is cultural appropriation. I think we should acknowledge that aspect of it. I'm actually surprised. I mean, here's the thing. Aside from that, and it's Larsa, I don't really have much more to say than that.
I'm the same way. It's like, it's Larsa.
You know, it's
She
kind of
does that
like,
all the time.
so I don't
She
know.
was spiraling in that one. She was like, I've been wearing my hair in braids forever. If you look at my honeymoon photos, I've been wearing braids in that. And I'm like, they flash back to her in like 2 French braids. I was like, that's not the same thing. That's just putting, like, I would never say my hair is in braids when I put a braid in my hair. Like, that's you're
Yeah,
talking
no,
about 2 different
absolutely.
things. Those are not the same
Absolutely.
thing. I bet when the producer asked the question in that confessional, she was like, I know where this is going. I know what you're about to do. You're about to put this in the show and it's going to become a thing on social media.
Yes. I haven't seen much chatter about it, but I haven't looked. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely cultural appropriation. So
Yeah. Guerdy was like, ballsy. And that was about as
Yeah.
far as she wanted to go with it. She's
yeah,
like,
I mean, that's
don't
kind of
wanna
how I
take it."
feel
Yeah.
about it. Truthfully, it's like, okay, well, she's doing it. Like, what else? are we
And she
gonna-
does that shit all the time. That's how Larsa is. That's how the Kardashians kind of are in general. They always
Yeah.
like walk that fine line.
Yes, and it took me back, honestly, to that moment in time when Larsa was friends with the Kardashians, because I recall a vacation I think they all went on, and I think they all had braids.
Yep. I remember it was like someone's bachelorette party
Right?
or birthday party or something, and they were in Mexico. I'm remembering this. I feel like I see it.
Yes,
all
I
on a
feel like I see
beach.
gray swimsuits or something,
Yep.
or I don't
They're-
know.
Yes, like matching swimsuits and
Yes.
things. I see it too. And then they all got in trouble, but they just didn't even address it. They were like, well, we're ignoring that. If you ever feel like you want to get into the supplement game, but you're not really sure where to start, or if you already take supplements, but you feel like you're missing something, I recommend Care Of, because Care Of comes with my favorite thing in the world, a quiz. You take a short quiz and it's in depth about your lifestyle, like how active you are, what you're eating, how much water you take in, what your health goals are. And you get a personalized doctor-backed list of recommended vitamins, supplements, powders, and it is a subscription service. So it's delivered right to your door conveniently every month. Each shipment comes with a customized pamphlet showing you exactly what is in your individual daily packs. These packs are perfect too because you can throw them in your bag for the day, or if you're traveling, you can easily pack them with you. And it explains why it was recommended specifically for you and whatever your goals were. My favorite part is Care Of's free app, which allows you to track your progress and how you're feeling. So you can earn rewards like discounts and merch simply by taking your vitamins daily. Isn't that cute? I like that part. When I took the quiz, I had to be honest about how many veggies I take in a day, because then what it told me was due to, maybe not the best amount of vegetables, here's a way to supplement the lack of nutrition I might be getting. I was also able to check off that I have joint pain that I would like to address and other various health goals that I have. And I got the list of everything that was recommended and why, what each vitamin would help with, etc. I received my vitamins maybe a little less than a week ago. Love the packaging, love the branding. And like I said, they come in the cute daily packs. Very convenient, takes the guesswork out of it. Just plop them all in your hand, take them at once. And it also is helpful to be able to refer back to the pamphlet that comes with it, which breaks down all of the vitamins and supplements that are in there. For 50% off your first Care Of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code SheSpeaks50. One more time, for 50% off your first Care Of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code SheSpeaks50. Okay, so I tried to cook a recipe I found off Pinterest because I'm like, okay, I got to start cooking at home. I got to save money. I got to eat right. And by the time I would have got all the ingredients and paid for these ingredients that I would never use again, it would have cost way more money than had I just ordered delivery, and B, would have taken way too much of my damn time. I would have had to gone to the grocery store, and then I would have had to cook it, and then I would have had to clean up. Excuse me, this is why HelloFresh is the way to go. HelloFresh, you can skip the trip to the grocery store. With HelloFresh, you can select based on your lifestyle or meal preferences. So you can do fit and wholesome or veggie, family friendly. And then skip the grocery store. Skip getting a bunch of ingredients you're never going to use again, because each of these recipes come with pre-portioned ingredients and easy to follow recipe cards. So all you have to do is follow the recipe card with the pre-portioned ingredients. You got a meal. Then you just have to clean up short. You got to do a little cleaning. All right, fine. But at least I didn't have to go to the grocery store. And at least I didn't have to find all the things at the grocery store and pay for all the things. Ugh, I was so irritated, you guys. Who the hell gets psyllium husk? I'm never going to use that again. And what's really fun about HelloFresh is you can get kind of flavorful meals that you wouldn't normally make, like falafel power bowls or Southwest pork and bean burritos, just things that have ingredients in them that normally you wouldn't have, but you get them pre-portioned and then you're done. You don't have to worry about them again. Because I do want to eat beyond what I normally would get when I go to the grocery store for the basics. And that's why HelloFresh is so perfect. Variety, mix it up, keep it interesting, because that's my problem. And that's why I end up ordering delivery. And here's the thing about HelloFresh. It's way cheaper than delivery. I am going broke on delivery. HelloFresh meals are still delivered to your door. You just need to cook them. So best of both worlds, if you ask me. Go to HelloFresh.com/SheSpeaks65 and use code SheSpeaks65 for 65% off plus free shipping. One more time. Go to HelloFresh.com/SheSpeaks65. Use code SheSpeaks65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Don't forget, HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
Yes.
Have we been to Baha Mar before on another cast trip? I feel like I've heard this before.
It's not ringing a bell to me, but I am not.
I don't
I
remember.
can
I don't
remember
retain things
weird
well.
details, but I don't retain things like that.
Yeah, I don't. But it just like sounded familiar. You know what? It might be something that like Ramona has said, like Baha Mar. I only go to Baha Mar, and I'm just like retaining that.
No, for sure. I would feel like if they've been there before, that slide, that whole like, not amusement park, but
I would recall that.
I would recall that aspect of it.
Oh my God, maybe I've
no,
seen an ad for it.
probably.
It seems like a place you'd see an ad for, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like Atlantis. I feel like it's giving that
Yes.
kind of same energy where
Once
you
I
see
saw
it,
the shot of like the slides, I was like, "This is
the slides.
That's what it was."
No, I feel like
I've
that's
seen
it.
that.
I will give these women so much credit for actually doing a fun activity, and actually being willing to like mess their faces up by doing the stand up surfing and the slide. Like we don't see enough of that on Housewives. I feel like these women tend to be a
Agreed.
little too prissy in that aspect.
Agreed. And they looked gorgeous. Like it's not like they weren't in full glam. They showed up looking stunning. The rooms, amazing. They have a freaking theater in each of the rooms.
Like insane, absurd. What was your take on Julia and the ghost?
Okay, right?
Has?
Was one of the crew members doing that? Did one of the crew members have like a button or something?
I feel like there's definitely a button she hit. Like it made me laugh though. I would freak out.
Oh,
like her.
Oh, I would be running out of the room. I feel like it had to have been someone messing with her. Like one of the crew,
1,000%.
a camera guy or something was like, wait, hold on, watch. And was like, this is too easy.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
But I would have been equally screaming, running out of the room, convinced it was magic.
I would be freaking the fuck out and be like, I think that would be a moment where I'd break the fourth wall and be looking at the camera guy and being like, did you see that? Like, am I crazy? Did you see that?
I bet
like,
they were laughing hysterically.
Oh, I guarantee that they were. And I wish they would show us the aftermath and when she figured out how it works, because we know there's a button that she hit or something. Like, it's just like ridiculous.
She totally was hitting a button.
No, she definitely was.
She was so convinced it was because of whatever she sprinkled.
I mean, she wanted to believe the story she told herself.
Oh my God, that's so fucking funny. When Lisa gets there, they're like, every time you say Lenny, we're going to drink. I was like, oh, you guys are fucked. First, they were like, we're going to take a shot. I was like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Just take a sip. Just take a sip of alcohol because shots are dangerous.
Shots are very dangerous.
You don't count them enough. You don't, like, once you do one, like, it's too easy to just keep doing them because once you get that first one down, you're like, that was horrible. But then the buzz hits you and you're like, once it's over, right? And then you just like, should we do another one? Once you do two, you're done.
so right. You're so right. I'm glad they like edited to the sip, and then it just made me laugh like how quickly immediately they're like, Lenny, you already said it again. Like she said it like 5 times within like 60 seconds of talking to them. And she admitted, she's like, I'm going to be on my ass if I continue, if I keep playing this game. And I have no doubt she probably was, because she is also tiny.
They are all so petite. Her body is like baffling to me. Whenever Lisa comes in, I'm like, good Lord, like, I'm very triggered by a lot of their bodies, but hers especially. I'm like, you are so, her and Nicole
She's
for sure.
Petite.
They are dressed for this pool though. Like Alexia, is that a Burberry? Is that what that is? Burberry?
Yes, she was wearing Burberry like swim shorts.
I didn't even know they made those, but I love it.
She pulled it off. She could have did she have a Burberry visor? I feel like
it
would have just completed.
Hat.
Yeah, it would have completed it just did complete the outfit. I normally find that type of thing. It's like very Dorit-esque, and
yes,
it's not for me. But for the people that can pull it off, it looks fashionable, I suppose. And doesn't look trying too hard.
I think it looks ridiculous, but I like that it looks ridiculous.
I like it. See,
I
like it on the right person.
Yeah, I'm gaudy. Like, look at me. Like, I like ridiculous. Like, I like kind of I don't really know like fashion, so like I tend to lean towards costume pieces without realizing it. So like the more ridiculous is where I lean, just because I'm like, she looks silly, and I maybe I just realized something. If I like something, you probably shouldn't take it as a compliment. I just realized that.
No,
I just realized that though.
No, don't say that about yourself. No.
I don't mean that as like an insult to me, but I just realized that like, because
it may not be for everyone.
It may not be for everyone. Like I just realized if I'm like, I was living for that, it may be like everyone else's least favorite. Because like,
so how do you feel about Giselle?
I was just gonna say I liked Giselle's look on the Potomac reunion.
Oh my God! I mean, you guys, I'm in shock. Legit shock. Like, wow. Literally pulled off my headset over that response because it was so jarring.
What? See?
Okay, you made your point, Emily. I get it.
See?
Yeah.
See? That's my problem. Anyway, here's where I really freaked out about Larsa, though. This is where I don't know if I can trust a person. She doesn't know the Golden Girls.
In all fairness to Larsa, I'm going to admit something to you.
What?
I knew the Golden Girls. No, I knew the Golden Girls. I did not start watching the Golden Girls until last year. I'd never watched it.
That's fair, but you knew what they were.
I knew, like, it was a show, and I knew Betty White. I didn't know the other wonderful women. But I went on a journey, and I'm still on that journey where I've been just watching seasons of the Golden Girls.
But if someone were to say the Golden Girls, you'd be like, oh, that was a TV show that Betty White was on.
Yes.
Larsa didn't even know what they were talking about.
I know. I guess I'm trying to like help Larsa out here.
No,
that was fucked up. She should know. Like, she should know. There's no excuse. It's like a pop culture thing. She should know. I mean, yes.
I was like, we have a problem. Because I've come around on Larsa a lot this season. Like last season I was on the fence, and this season I was like, I don't mind her, but then she got a little really down and dirty, and I was like, all right, we're on the cusp. But this part I was like, listen, I wasn't even a huge Golden Girls fan. until maybe like 5 years ago. And then I was like forced to watch it with a friend. And then I was like, where's this been my entire life? And then I got like on a kick about it and was like, I've been missing out. So it's not like I was a lifer or anything.
No, that's okay. Which one's your favorite?
Blanche.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like
but
that.
also Dorothy.
Dorothy's mine.
Yeah. Dorothy's fucking awesome.
Dorothy's mine. And obviously, why am I blanking on the mom? I want to say Sophia. Yeah. Okay, good. I was like, the Sophia, but I love them all, but Dorothy is probably the one I identify with the most.
Oh yeah. That's good. That's fun to know. Yeah. I like a little combo of the sex pot mixed with Dorothy.
Yeah.
I always like a Samantha type character.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I like how, especially at that time when the show was on, it's just like so unapologetic about it.
So
but
ahead of its time.
Yes, but in a way that wasn't like in your face.
Yes. Such a good show. So Larsa, you lost. I'm gonna take 5 whole points away from Larsa for that one.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know how many points out of how many points. I just took 5. I don't know why. The slide moment though, there's not enough credit given to the producer that joined them on the slide because he had to hold the camera. But
no, I would imagine. I wonder how many times they actually had to go down the slide for him to get like a steady shot.
That was so fucking funny. Guerdy and Kiki stole the show for me on that one because Kiki's just like long limbs, like all over the place. Absolutely amazing. They wanted to go again. They had so much fun. It was like kids.
I mean, and they got like VIP treatment. Like there's like the fast pass for that slide. They got to go in front of that line and skip it and get to go. So I would be annoyed waiting, but no, I would do that slide. I like the big tube that you all can sit in. That seemed like less scary.
It looked so fun. But unfortunately, the other people not having so much fun. Not having as much fun. Lisa's like, look at all the amazing dads with their kids. And they're like, don't. Julia gives like
mention Lenny.
Julia gives good advice though. Like Julia lets her like grieve. I think a lot of the time when someone's going through something, we have a tendency to tell people like to not like stop, don't. And Julia's like, I get it, because she's so like Russian and passionate. She's like, it's like a knife inside of your body and it keeps turning and it doesn't stop stabbing you. I'm like, whoa, yes, it is that bad, but like take it there, let her feel it.
She's really, I think Julia, she reminds me, there's this children's book I read to my kids and it reminds me of her, to what you're saying. There's a book called The Rabbit Listens. So it's like this kid, their tower gets knocked over and they get upset. And there's different animals who come to try to calm the child. They're like, you can yell about it, be mad. You can, let's fix it. Like, I want to fix it for you. They gave all these different scenarios, but the rabbit was the one that just listened. So the rabbit listened to the kid yell and be mad. The rabbit listened to the kid be sad. So it just kind of reminds me of that. But I always try to tell myself that, to be the rabbit. So I think more of us could be like Julia and just like let someone grieve, like you said, and just listen.
It's my number one peeve, where it's like the need to give advice as opposed to just, because we don't really know. Like, let's just let someone talk and say what they got to say rather than try to like throw. Well, what I would do is on the tail end of it, because it's almost like you give them a task when they're already feeling overwhelmed.
For sure. And I feel like this is like therapy, but years of therapy, but I feel like, so many of us who have been working on ourselves, you say instead, like, what do you want from me? I think, do you want me to give you advice or do you want me to just listen? That also like helps. And that's something I am actively working on with my own self.
Exactly. And sometimes if they don't know, they can say, I don't know. And it's like, all right, we'll figure it out together. Yeah. And so then and then ask before you go into it, because when you just jump to that, my least favorite moment is when someone has no idea, like they've never been in that scenario and they're giving you that advice. I noticed that it's as a content creator, when you're talking about what just gets difficult, you're complaining about like content creator stuff, and someone's like, I would just ignore those comments. I'm like,
yes, no, I've encountered that with a friend of mine. Her husband's like, why aren't you selling merch? I think I would do, and you're just like, oh God, you're like, okay. All right. You just like smile and nod. It's like
great advice. Thank you.
Aggravating when people do that. So I'm with you.
It's like, oh, have you done that? No? Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Julia has such good, like, motherly energy. So I'm excited about this journey that she talks about with the adoption for her, truthfully.
Especially since it's the first time she's going to actually have a child with her partner, which was a wild realization considering she has so many children that have been raised by her partner. So this will be big for Martina too.
No, I agree.
This was really when we saw how gutted Adriana still is, though, because Adriana's anger really came out. She's like, you know why? They move on immediately, okay? They don't hold on. And I was like, whoa, still fresh. Still very fresh for you.
It's Adriana's anger with Alexia. Like, I actually thought Alexia in that conversation when they did talk was surprisingly level-headed to me. Like, I could have saw her getting a bit hot, and I think we'll obviously see that next week. But I thought she was like even keel and like listening to her and was like, I'm here for you. But Adriana is like, I feel like Adriana is one of those people that when she makes up her mind, it's very, very hard for it to change. And she holds grudges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. So last week I was going through it. I had an emotional week. And when I get emotional, I like to binge eat, unfortunately. And I wish it was healthy foods, but no, it is not. It's fast food, it's cheese, it's all the things that really hurt my stomach. But it occurred to me that I was actually not doing so bad in the stomach department. And I was like, oh my God, it's because I'm taking the Just Thrive probiotic. And I also think it's the combo with the other product, Just Calm. I'm telling you guys, if these products can withstand a week of my emotional binge eating, it can withstand anything, because that's like putting them through a war zone. Just Thrive Probiotic, the thing that really separates it is this strain is able to arrive in your gut alive. And what it does is it eliminates bad bacteria and replenishes the good, and it produces antioxidants right there in the gut. If you have kids and they don't like taking pills, you can also open the capsules and sprinkle it into foods and drinks. So it's good for the whole family. But the next level stress busting mood support is Just Calm. Now look, things are going to happen. Life happens. A pill is not going to fix everything. But I was surprised at how well I was able to handle these stresses. I had a healthier response to it. I was a little steadier, a little more serene and balanced. I had mental clarity. I was still able to focus. I was more alert. And I was still able to get some sleep, and I had enough energy to continue to work out, which is very important to do when you're having a hard week. And the thing about Just Thrive products is they have more clinical research than just about anyone else in the industry. They're all natural, and they have a money-back guarantee, a bottom of the bottle guarantee. So you don't have anything to lose here. If you're ready to up your wellness game and beat bloat, digestive issues, stress, and more, you can get 15% off a bottle of Just Thrive Probiotic and a bottle of Just Calm with promo code SHESPEAKS at justthrivehealth.com. While you're there, check out all their other research-based products because they've got it all. Everything you can imagine for optimal gut health and immune health. There's even something for your fur baby, all with a bottom of the bottle guarantee. So take control of your health this year with Just Thrive. There is no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to hair care because your hair and your hair goals are unique to you. Like I am dealing with a lot of hair loss and shedding, and I also deal with a very oily scalp. That's just me though. But thanks to my personalized Prose routine, I'm excited to be more in love with my hair than ever. Prose makes custom hair care that's effective because it's personal. Using natural ingredients with proven results, Prose customizes every product in your routine from shampoo to supplements. So first, Prose starts by asking about my hair goals. My hair goals are more volume, more shine, more hair growth, and less shedding. Also less oily scalp. They do an in-depth consultation where they ask about you as a person, unexpected things too, like what are your eating habits, or where do you live, or how often do you exercise? Next, pros analyzed all those answers and handpicked clean ingredients to help me reach my hair goals. So I have got my first order, part one of my order has just come in, and I'm so excited. I am going to be using a pre-shampoo scalp mask. I didn't even know that existed, but the ingredients in them sound so natural. I want to drink them. Grapefruit oil for scalp soothing, kombucha tea and prebiotics for scalp health. These are just that's in the pre-shampoo scalp mask. In the shampoo itself, for sebum control, so for my oiliness, there's kale, spirulina, and vitamin B6. I didn't even know you could put that in a shampoo. I got a leave-in conditioner. I also have supplements coming. What I'm excited about is I've been kind of cherry picking products that I think would be good for my hair. This feels like a very I feel like I'm in good hands. They've listened to me. They know all my issues. And the reason they ask where you live is they take into consideration things like UV rays, environmental factors, UV rays, water, pollution, humidity, wind, right? Isn't that cool? As a carbon neutral certified B Corp, Prose is an industry leader in clean and responsible beauty. All their ingredients are sustainably sourced, ethically gathered, and cruelty-free. They're also the first custom beauty brand to go carbon neutral. If you're not 100% positive Prose is the best hair care you've had, they will take the products back, no questions asked. Prose is the key to achieving all your hair goals this year. Take your free in-depth hair consultation and get 15% off your first order today. Go to prose.com/she-speaks. That's prose.com/she-speaks for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off. So they're all like getting ready. God, they look gorgeous. I did love Adriana's like lilac bow dress
Yes.
thing. Stunning.
Yeah.
I mean,
all the
they
outfits were
look
cute.
beautiful. So they go to dinner. This is the point in the trip where they're all getting along. This is the point where like Nicole does her confessional and she's like, everyone's getting along great. So you know what that means. Soon it won't be so good. That's the shift. Like all cast trips have to go like that. Well, not all, but most of them.
Yeah, it's like the formula. It's part of the formula.
Exactly.
The minute you say it's going well, it's going to go bad.
Yeah. And it's always a confessional. So the producers know like, okay, let's edit that part in here. And the next chapter is going to be where it goes bad. And this is where Julia's like, so I went to a botanica. And Alexia's like, what? That's funny because Marisol thinks the reason she's not here is because someone is doing witchcraft on her.
Oh my God. That scene was like, even just like you saying it, the ridiculousness of it all is just like so funny. Could you imagine just saying to your friend who doesn't watch Bravo, so I was watching this and these two women started fighting because this lady went to a botanica, which she thought was witchcraft. And they'd be like, what the fuck are you watching? But you're like, but it's really good TV.
She's
That's
dead
like really
serious
good TV.
too. She's like,
yeah,
nope, I don't trust this whatsoever. And there's Marisol. She's like, I've been gaining weight. I don't feel well. Now I have COVID. I'm like, oh no. Julia is having no idea that this is happening, that they've been having this discussion. So Julia's like, here you go, Larsa. Hers is peace. Okay. Nicole's is protection. Lisa gets faith. Kiki's is joy. They're all positive.
Yeah.
Guerdy's is friends. And Alexia's is happiness. But she takes it like all like, okay, all right.
Yeah, that evil eye. She's talking about.
Don't trust this whatsoever. I don't think so. She's like, when you go to a botanica, you're there to resolve something in your own life. Don't go for me.
Yeah.
I don't trust.
No, she's like, I don't trust it. I mean, in Alexia's defense, she has had a lot of horrible shit happen to her.
She has.
So I could see how she's like reads into stuff. However, Julia is not that person. And I guarantee that she threw that little happiness stone in the trash.
Or like buried it under the sand, like 6 inches, like whatever, like the ritual is that like keeps it from, I don't know.
I feel like she'd leave it for like housekeeping. Like, I leave you happiness. Like something like subtle like that, where she feels like, yeah.
Yeah. She's like, how do I trust that you're in a botanica thinking good things about me? I don't.
I've never even heard of it referred to as a botanica.
I haven't either. Again, it sounds like you're going to someplace I can
Sounds
also
made
buy
up.
houseplants.
Yes. No, I've never heard that.
Ever. And
I don't know what you would call it. I would call it like a crystal shop. I don't know what the proper
Botanica legitimately sounds like, I'm like, can we get candles there? Is it like a home decor place?
Yeah, no, they need to rebrand it. They need to rebrand it because it's not clicking for at least you and I.
Yeah, no,
Who are probably
Botanica.
not the target audience.
Yeah,
for
we're not the
it.
demographic, but like
No.
Botanica does sound nice though, but not for whatever you're going for. Botanica
No,
sounds
not at all.
very different. Nicole starts the game. Who would be most ashamed of their porn search history? And they pick Adriana, who's like, no, mine's pretty boring. Basic mom and dad stuff. Maybe a DP here and there. To which Julia's like, what's a DP? Guys, what's a DP? Guys. And no one will tell her.
No one. And I was like Julia. I was like, what is a DP? I was like, I didn't want to Google it. I was hoping they would get there, but
thankfully, Nicole goes, first word rhymes with trouble. I was like, oh, okay, thank you, got it, thank you.
Yeah,
just give her a hint. Adriana does the weirdest impersonation of Julia, but then even goes weirder when she does her Julia Child impression. It was insane because she already has a very thick accent of her own, but then for her to do a Julia Child accent.
No, it was a lot. Adriana is something. I did appreciate the production when she was just doing Julia, the flashback of that fight.
Yeah.
Like that helped connect things a little bit, but no, she's a bit much.
Yeah. It went on and on. They kept that in there. They're like, oh, we're going to show this entire thing.
Yes.
The audience will see you do this. If we have to, they have to. Never have I ever injured myself having sex. Nicole threw her neck out giving head once with Anthony. I could see that.
I mean, I feel
I hurt my neck turning to the right and left wrong, so I could see that happening.
I'm like, that's like least favorite thing to do when it comes to pleasuring a man, and I'm like, I don't know what you're doing to throw out your neck, but I appreciate that she admitted it.
I don't know what you're doing to throw out your neck.
I don't know, but yeah.
Send a you up text to the last person you hooked up with, which
that was kind of dumb. They should have did that one.
Don't even, because also that's dangerous. Don't do that. Like, you may not want to. But this leads to them finding out that Thierry has not even talked to Adriana since the party, which, like, I mean, that guy's a dick.
No, he sucks. It's like, whatever, fine.
That guy wasn't great. Yeah.
No, even though Alexia was in the
totally
wrong, he was pretty aggressive about it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, honestly, Alexia should have been like, I did you a favor.
Yeah, he was
you see the kind of man he was.
Like, if he was after to do that the way he did and then not even call after, it's like, so did you just go to the party to clear your name?
Yeah. It's like
Gross.
He wanted that 15 minutes of TV.
Yeah.
Like, wanted that little moment. Yeah.
So then you did just go to be like, oh, let me clear up my name. Like, that says a lot, actually.
For sure.
As they leave one more time, Julia's like, girls, can you tell me what's a DP? Sort of walking through the restaurant. All right, next morning, the flamingo yoga. Guerdy goes, if there's more than 5 birds around me, it's called a conspiracy theory. Why?
That is like some of these things these women say. It's like, but why? And I hope when she goes on Watch What Happens Live that Andy asks her, because I guarantee the answer is going to be gold. I have no idea.
It's called a conspiracy theory. I love the rest of the girls calling down to them from the spa. Because again, we would be up there. We are up there getting those massages.
Be definitely up there getting the massages look delightful. I would be having a little breakfast cocktail. Doing yoga with flamingos sounds horrible. I don't have I'm not scared of flamingos. I don't have a bird
I'm not.
thing.
No, but when they're tall and
but when they're that close to you like that, I don't like that.
Also, they will shit on you apparently. So why do we need them for part of this?
Yeah, and it's like that's the least relaxing thing to do. Like
I-
I would rather do the goat yoga
The
than
goat yoga.
flamingo yoga.
That looked very unappealing. And it didn't
Yeah.
even look like they got a good workout. They looked like they weren't even really sweating. So it's like,
No,
this is
it's
just
like
like a tourist thing that they
yes, for
like
sure. I felt
upsell.
like that was like hatha yoga for 10 minutes. It didn't even seem like they were there that long.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this was a total upsell that they do for the people that come in. But Julia, Adriana, they talk real quick. Julia, Adriana, and Larsa, they're like, I'm glad we've cleared up our issues, right? We've cleared them up. And they're like,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, cool.
Larsa's like, yeah. She's like,
Just-
and Julia's like, we didn't get off on the right foot. And it's like, okay, yeah. I always
Cool.
thought the beef between those two was always kind of weird.
right?
I did laugh at I do think Larsa calling Julia a weirdo is a funny insult to me just because it's so juvenile.
It's so juvenile.
And it just sounds funny from a grown woman to a grown woman. Like it just is something we don't say.
I felt the same way about it. I was like, this is her clapback. Get out of here, you weirdo. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're on good terms for now. Who knows how long that lasts.
Totally. But then I like Julia going, did anyone else pick up on Alexia being super weird about me giving out those stones? And obviously Larsa's like, no, I wasn't even paying attention because I was like on my phone. But
yeah,
Adriana's like, yes, totally did. But then Nicole down at the yoga thing, she's telling Alexia that Adriana was like, said that they were accusing her of doing witchcraft. And Alexia's like, oh, absolutely. 100%.
yeah, because that's what was happening. Where's the voodoo doll?
The bad eyes, the evil eyes on people. Absolutely.
Yes. I would have leaned into that and gone to the Botanica and left something at her door just to fuck with her. I just think that would be so funny. I'm watching
like
you.
A prank.
I think sometimes housewives come on, push into these things. Let's laugh.
Wait a minute. This is a brilliant idea.
But right? I just think that would be so funny. Ask Heather Gay to mail you that eye patch and send it over to Alexia, that evil eye
we
patch.
really need to start leaning into these things more because they start to take it way too seriously. But absolutely, rather than take it personal, be like, oh my God, okay, yeah, let's go pick something else up that could look like witchcraft and put it in front of her hotel room.
Yes, it would just be funny.
Yes. Oh, missed opportunity. Total missed opportunity. Damn. But Alexia does think that she sees her happy with Todd. Adriana sees her happy with Todd. And subconsciously, is not wishing her well. And I can see that.
Yeah. No, I could see that too, actually.
Because
it seems
see how
to be...
fresh this pain is for Adriana still, the resentment.
Yeah.
So
it's weird. I will say, and I wonder as I kind of get into it more, but with Adriana, it's if this was I'm guessing they don't see each other outside of filming. And I always get conflicted by people who are in so much pain. It's well, I mean, if I mean that much to you, for you to feel this much, then why don't you ever you never text me, call me, let's talk about it. But it always seems to feel like an on-camera thing.
Oh, that's a good point. Huh.
Because if they've been friends that long, she was in their wedding. I just can't imagine this came out of nowhere. I'm sure she's been feeling like that for a minute, and I doubt she calls her.
Oh, so okay, I see what you're saying here. Okay, I can explore that.
Yeah.
Or do we think that Adriana was kind of blindsided by them talking about her guy being married on camera?
Oh, that's fair. Touche. That's it.
Okay. Oh,
that's a fair point.
Look what we did there. That was fun.
No, I'm always admit to flip flop. I'm quick to be on one side and then quickly in 5 minutes later flip to the other side.
My listeners are laughing right now because that's how I
No, but I also think that's somewhat the beauty of housewives in some ways. You can feel one way about something and it can change so quickly just based on the actions of someone.
Yeah.
So
it's a more fun way to watch these shows because everything changes so much that why get attached
Yes,
too much to
exactly.
one point. You
Yes,
know,
Emily, I'm with you.
I get too attached to one's. I'm like, I'm probably wrong. I don't know. I also have a horrible memory, so sometimes when someone reminds me of something, I'm like, oh yeah, I completely forgot.
No,
That
I do
happened.
the same thing. I remember different. I don't know. I don't remember the small details.
Mm-hmm.
I'll remember, like, I remember the table flip, like I'm
Yes.
bringing it to Teresa, but someone will say, but in season 5 she said this to, like, da da da, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, totally. Oh no, absolutely. My memory is definitely not to be trusted. So a lot of the time I'll be like, I'm probably forgetting something, but according to my
Yeah.
memory as of right now, this is what I'm
Yes,
going
this
with.
is how you feel. Yeah.
That's how I felt. Lisa joins the massage, and her poor son is not doing so great. The fact that her little son is screaming, "I'm never going to get married," is
That's
heartbreaking.
troubling. Honestly, I say troubling, not that she's not doing the right thing. It's just at this time, we don't know the timetable of how long the separation has started. It seems to be more like a few months versus 6 months or something. But that would break my heart as a
Wow.
parent. I feel like I would want to put him in therapy, honestly, or like have someone to talk to him or spend more time. I don't know that I could have gone on that trip.
Right.
I know now it's like a dual thing because it's like an income for her now that she's not going to be able to rely on money.
I know.
So I don't know. That's so sad. I mean, kids pick up everything.
Like the fact that he's saying, "I'm never going to get married." Like, oof, man. Like, that's a trauma on top of trauma.
Yeah, no, and I guarantee too, he's probably heard his dad say something like that.
Oh God.
I feel like for a child, that's not like something that would like come to their
Exactly
mind.
that word,
Like say, I'm
married.
never gonna get married. Like that's not something
Oh,
they would say. I feel, like I'm thinking about my
yes.
own kids, like my 5-year-old. She'll say, I hate you. She'll tell me she hates me sometimes, or I don't like you, or you're not my best friend anymore. But I don't know that she would know married.
Married.
Like I don't want to
Yeah,
ever be married. I don't think she would get that.
exactly. So that is such learned behavior because Lenny is the worst.
The fucking worst.
We fucking
Hate
hate
that bitch.
him. Ugh, we hate him.
Hate that bitch.
We hate him so much. Adriana and Larsa ask Lisa if she appreciated those stones. Did you appreciate those stones last night? Just wondering. She's like, oh my God, of course. I was like looking at the stone. It was perfect. I loved it. And Adriana's like, well, that's funny because Alexia was throwing digs at me the whole time about the making a whole big thing about it. And they're like, what? Oh my God, how could she? But Larsa's staying quiet. Larsa is not saying a word. But this is what I love about this cast. The whole cast has known each other for so long that Adriana's over here giving her version is that Alexia's throwing digs about my life, saying I'm a mystery. And Adriana says it's since her divorce. Alexia doesn't pick up the phone. She doesn't check in with her. But Lisa, you have. So I'm like, ooh, okay, that's what it is. But then along comes Larsa's confessional where she's like, look, in my experience, Alexia is a good friend and Adriana likes to play victim. I'm like, I love this. The dynamics, the layers. You all have known each other long enough to give a perspective as opposed to this like manufactured friendships that we tend to get when we put these casts together just to try to make them work. Oh, I love it.
Well, it's also like she knows better to like hold that thought for the confessional versus like blurting it out in the moment to try to get her time on TV or like to be part of the drama. Like she's
good point.
A quiet, I'm taking notes. I feel like Larsa has a sharp tongue. I think when she does speak, she like shoots daggers because she's processing and like writing her novel of insults.
Totally. It's almost dangerous. Like when Larsa's being quiet, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah. It's like, what are you thinking? Like she has like her lips are always like pursed, like
she's like,
and she's like, I just feel like it's like staring and I feel like she's writing novels of insults. Oh, either that or she's like creating her content calendar for her OnlyFans. I don't know.
She's completely checked out, actually. She's like, I wasn't even listening. The only reason she was able to comment is because the producer prompted her in the confessional. What did you feel about Adriana saying this? She's like, oh, was that what she was talking about? I wasn't even listening.
Wasn't.
She's like, that's why I didn't talk. We're over here giving her this whole narrative. She's like,
yes, no, but I like, again, this is like the beauty of Housewives viewers. Of course, we're going to like dramatize the situation.
Totally.
Like, of course, this is what she's doing.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. So they're at lunch, and one more time, Nicole, kiss to death. She's like, I hope we can continue the fun. Like, take it back. You just did it. Knock on wood. Never say that on a cast trip.
Yeah.
Right there's your
the
problem.
door is open.
Yep. There we go.
For conflict.
So Lisa, I love Lisa calling right at the table. She's like, go pick up Logan early. We're going to set up a play date. I don't know why the tension in that moment made me feel like something was about to happen like on the phone. Like this scene was shot so interesting. This scene was shot kind of chaotically.
I think because it was probably chaotic in the moment, because normally we don't see the women break off like they did.
Yeah, right?
So it was a lot of conversations at once. So I'm sure production was like, wait, whoa, what?
Yeah, and they usually can like isolate it a little bit more, but they're like, we're going to show it kind of how it felt, I guess. So like Lisa's on the phone loudly talking to the nanny about picking him up and setting up a play date. And then Julia's going to pull Guerdy aside and tell her about how she's adopting. And then Alexia's going to talk to Adriana. It was like a lot of moving parts.
And then we end with, we'll get to the ending, but that added to it too.
It was such insane timing. It was almost like it's almost like a producer was like, hold on, Marisol, don't go out yet. Hold on, Marisol, stay right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like the other producer who had audio of Alexia and Adriana talking there was like, okay, hold on, not yet. And then it was like cued too perfectly.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of happened that way. I mean, I'd like to think that they don't do that, but I have to be real with myself. It kind of did felt that way.
Because whether or not it had to have been, because we got the whole conversation. Like Alexia said, my favorite, Alexia goes, I know you're feeling a certain type of way. And then they cut to Larsa saying to Alexia, Adriana's feeling a certain type of way. So it's like complete quote for quote, exactly what was said. And so the big thing is, which I can attest to, the way Adriana is so close to Julia, it must feel isolating for Marisol and Alexia. Like it must feel to them like, oh, okay, like she's not really our
We've
friend
been replaced.
anymore.
No, I totally get that. I think all of us in our friendships, I think we've all seen that within our friends when you're like tight with someone and then they start to get another friend who you may not click with.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you don't see them as much. And obviously we evolve and change in life. Mm-hmm. So I got what Alexia was saying there.
I did. And she rides so hard for Julia, even when it's against Alexia. So it's kind of like, well, I get like you clearly have that feel like that's what's going on. And Adriana also, she then says, well, Marisol will rile you up basically, and then you'll back her up no matter what. Cut to cue Marisol, go. Action on Marisol. And then Marisol comes in with a fucking blowhorn. Hey, hookers. She looks fabulous too. Like what an outfit to come in with. Like a little two-piece set.
It's just, it was giving like, Hi.
It was very like Scary Island.
Loved it.
Loved it.
No notes.
Perfection. Thank you so much for joining me. This was fun.
This was so great. Thank you so much for having me. This was delightful. I love discussing Housewives and especially Miami.
I know, right? Obviously, people already probably follow you and know you, but can you just, for formality, can you tell the people where to find you and listen to you?
Yes, of course. So wherever you're listening to this podcast, you can quickly search Real Moms of Bravo. My co-host and I, Abby, we release an episode every week recapping your favorite Bravo shows in 30-ish minutes or less. And then we also have an Instagram page where we try to keep you up to date and up to news on all the happenings in Bravo, motherhood, pop culture. We meme, we reel, we TikTok sometimes. So check it out and have fun with us.
I don't know how you guys keep up with everything, because you do. You keep up. It's impressive.
We try.
You do.
We try.
No, you do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you. Mean it. And we'll see you next time. Bye. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $ and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at She Speaks Bravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.